Good morning. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tiffany and I blog at hopejoyinchrist.com, and I just wanted to take a minute and talk about opt-ins. So do you have an opt-in on your site? Do you have a way for your readers to jump into your community that is more than just don't miss the latest blog post? Because let's face it, that's not going to grow your list super fast. They're going to be like crazy raving fans who love every word you write, and they're going to be like, yes, I don't want to miss a blog post, and they will definitely sign up for that kind of a choice. But excuse me, for the most part, people want something in return for their email address. And so what's key here in deciding what your opt-in should be is to see what posts or articles on your site are drawing the most traffic, okay? And we can talk about how to find that a little bit later, but what are the things that you talk about inside of those maybe top 5 or 10 blog posts? For me, marriage is the one that gets the most traffic, and by far the most traffic. And so early on, I kind of played around with some things to pick what the opt-in should be. So a couple of posts that went just crazy early on were about forgiveness inside of marriage. And so I put together, I wrote posts, okay, literally just writing them as I went, and wrote it as a series about just some of the things in my life that I went through and how I got to the other side of forgiving. And when I got to the end of that series, I pulled all of those posts together, put them into, copied the text side, pasted it into a Word document, went to canva.com and made a cute cover picture, the size of a US letter, put it on the first page of the document, and then converted that Word document to PDF. That was my very first very good performing opt-in. They could have, of course, absolutely gone back and read through those posts themselves. They could have, searched and found the next one and found the next one and found the next one. But giving it to them in a downloadable so they could read it whenever, they don't have to be online. That was something that really resonated with my readers. They liked it. They still do. It's still one of my top performing opt-ins. Later on, I get to be a part of a blog party, which, by the way, there's several coming up within the group. Several members in the group are getting ready to have another blog party or a blog series on a particular topic, I think in May and then June, and then I'm going to be doing one in July, so be looking out for that and be asking you to contribute something there. And so at the end of that series, again, I just took the posts that were there. They were super popular, that people loved. There were 31 in that series. Pulled them together into a downloadable ebook. Same way, copied the text, pasted it into Word, put a cute picture on the front of it, and then saved as a PDF. Just simple, super simple thing there. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, now for most of you, it does not have to be as big as an ebook. It just doesn't. People really like things that are easy to consume. Okay, so they read your post, they liked your post. Maybe there was a checklist within your post. There was something that you could pull out into Word for them to print and have on hand themselves as they're working through whatever the thing was within your post. And that is how today's post is structured. So I want to show it to you and then show you the process of kind of pulling it out, turning it into a PDF, getting it in a way so you can deliver it to your readers when they give you their email address. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you, and just bear with me because I have a lot of things open. I'm going to share the whole desktop. Oh, aren't you excited? All right, so the post, the article is about a yearly kind of check-in conversation, because today is our wedding anniversary, and this past week and this week we will spend some time talking about the past year, What are the things that went well? What are the things that didn't go well? And what can we do next year? Like, let's plan and dream big for this coming year. Now, I know from experience, from having talked to my readers, from hearing from them in the Facebook group, and through email, that this is something they are very interested in doing themselves. And so as I was writing it, with kind of them in mind, right? Because we're, imagining our avatar. Who is she? What does she need right now in this moment? I made this very much, its own checklist. If they wanted to go print it out, they could. But more importantly, after it was written, I went through and copied it. So really copied it. Let's copy it from here because this is kind of my intro into it. Little blurb. Okay, so I went in, I copied it, just the text part, the visual part, not the HTML. Copied it, I pulled it over. Here, let's pull it into a new Word document so you can see how I did that. File, new. Here it is, paste it in there. Okay, the cool thing about Word is that if you had formatted your post well so that you have headings and subheadings, H1, H2, H3, those kind of things, Word recognizes that formatting. WordPress and Microsoft Word are very compatible that way. Okay, so I'm going to give it a name. All right, so I'm going to call it the Marriage State of the Union checklist, maybe checklist. I'm going to give it a subheading down here, evaluating the overall health of our relationship. All right, and we are going to, I'm going to get rid of any extra gibberish. Now listen, I am also making a paid version of this, so I'm going to make this super simple for them. I'm just pulling out the things that were in the post, very literally, so they can print the checklist to go back to themselves. So take out any images. I'm leaving in just the things that they can kind of talk through. I'm going to, try to make sure it's formatted well. I am
Mommy, I put it in the wall.
gonna pull that out. Here we go. Let's see. All right. I'm going to take out anything that was personal to us in it, so it's just something that they can use themselves. All right. Parenting. Let's get rid of the graphics because they just don't need to be there unless you love graphics. I just want it to be something that they could easily print themselves. And I will even go back in and take out, like that. I love Word. It tells me when I have not spelled something well, which is such a downfall in my life. I am not a good speller. Okay, and then I can go back and fix it there. Yay! All right. Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna take out. We're just taking things out. All right, this is where it's gonna end up. Okay, look at this, 2 pages. That is an easy consumable. They can print this out. They can make that personal to themselves. They can write notes off to the side. Okay, I am going to put it all in a black font. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in black font. Where's my font? Okay, black, because they're going to print it. Black and white is going to be easier for them to print out. Okay, probably. Yeah, that's good. Okay, super simple, easy. Look at this word is suggesting I reword things. I'm going to get all kinds of distracted. Checklist. All right, okay. All right, so there it is, right? It's easy. I am also, though, from experience, listen, and I always forget how to do a copyright symbol, but I keep it in other documents because it's not on your keyboard. But I'm going to add in a footer that has a copyright. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. And let's see, it's going to be in, which one? I never remember. I love being able just to flip through things and see. And then I'm sure I've already seen it and just walked right past it. Show me the footer. There you are, footer. Let me get into my footer, please. Where did I put the footer? All right, so I'm just going to copy this. I use this in all of my opt-ins, and that is just because there is so much piracy online. And I hate that it is that way, but it is. And so, you know, we live and learn. So I am going to, in this one, I'm going to give it, excuse me, I'm going to give it a blank footer at the bottom. I'm going to say it is copyrighted. So you can Google how to get the copyright. It's like the Alt key and a series of numbers. I never remember which numbers, and then I can get into Google and get distracted. And so anyway, you put it there. It's copyrighted to you. Now, if you want them to be able to edit this in some kind of way, you can leave it in Word, or when you save as, let's save as. Put it on my desktop so I can find it super quick, real quick. All right, so let's give it a name, and let's save it as a PDF. Okay, if you have Windows, I think Windows 7 and higher gives you the option to save it as a PDF. If your version of Windows doesn't give you the option to save it as a PDF, you can Google convert Word document to PDF. There are several sites that will do that for you for free. And it's super simple. You could even pull it into a Google Doc and then save it as a PDF. Google will do that for you as well. So super easy to do that. I then will go to my Google Drive. Okay, and if you use a Dropbox, you know, if you know how that operates, you're welcome to do that. We have Dropbox now, but I have just gotten so accustomed. It's just a habit to use Google Drive. So I have a folder in my Google Drive. I can drop in the document. Let's close it. Can I close you? Yes, I saved you. I did. Let's see. Okay, and then where did I save you? There you are. Okay. So in Google, I can just grab this and drop it in. Now I already did that. It would take just a second, and then it adds it to the list. Okay, so here it is. All right, and with it highlighted, I can go up here to sharing. There's a little person with a plus sign. Okay, and I'm going to go into the advanced settings, because at first, when you drop it in there, it's going to be set to private. Okay, so I'm going to change the setting. Okay, and I wanted to say anyone with the link can view this file. Okay, now it's going to tell me what I just said, who has access. Anyone who has a link can view. All right, and it's given me this file, this URL that will take me or anyone else to the document online. Okay, so here it is. All right, now you want to go to your email service provider. Okay, you have a form, you have all these things. We've talked about how to set that up. I know we've done videos about how to set up an opt-in form in MailChimp. And then we did videos about how to set it up in Mailer Lite. Mailer Lite is where I am now because, yay, the list has gotten big enough. And so we're going to go in there, log in. I should have logged in before, my bad. As we're going along, so we're going to have forms, right? This is our dashboard on Mailer Lite. We're going to go in, we're going to set up a form. Okay, I like to use embedded forms just because I'm not a fan of pop-ups. They get on my nerves when I'm on other people's websites, mostly on my phone, because, you know, that thing is just hard to click out of, and then I can't read what I wanted to read. Anyway, that's my own personal preference. All right, now I already set this up last night before I realized I wanted to do a video and show you how to do it. So what I would do is just take one of the other forms that's already formatted, and you should already have an opt-in form somewhere formatted the way that you like. Okay, so I'm going to go into this one and edit it. and just kind of show you some of the formatting things. If you're not there yet, you can go back through the videos in my blogging stuff playlist and see how we've done that before. All right, so I phrase things differently. I take out the word subscribe. That really turns people off. Now they are subscribing, but they are also going to download something. So I don't feel like there's any manipulation or false things in there. So instead of subscribe to my list in the title, I put something like, yes, I want it. For this one, maybe I'll say, I want to, I don't know, what are we saying now? My brain's all freezing about the marriage checkup. I want to use the marriage checklist. Lovely. Download your free marriage state of the union checklist. And then I add a little piece here just to confirm their humanity. In the button, I want it to say download it now, and then it's going to give them a thank you message telling them that the opt-in is in their inbox. Okay, now you can go over here to the design piece and tell it how big you want these things, what colors you want these things to be. You can decide which fields it's going to come into. I set up different groups for each of my opt-ins because I have a separate welcome sequence for each of them. And so if you have, like if this is your first opt-in or one of the only opt-ins, you're going to send them through the same sequence. You would just make sure that you go set up a group in your subscribers for it. Okay. So I set up a group, Marriage State of the Union. It's super simple. It walks you through how to do it to set up a thing. And then after I have the form, okay, and I also have the plugin on my site, so I don't have to worry about all of this because, oh, it's nice. That's one of the things I like about Mailer Lite. I don't have to worry about all of the HTML and the script and the craziness. So then I'm going to go over to my automation. And I'm going to set up a welcome sequence for it. Now, I very literally just copied over the other. In the editing, you have the option to duplicate a welcome sequence. And because I say similar things, so I kind of played around with my welcome sequence until I found one that hit a higher open rate. Okay, so for me, the marriage ebook has a good open rate. Close to 50% is just slamming. In my opinion, other people have got it closer to 70 and 80. And so if you find people like that, I'm just saying, like, opt into their stuff, see what they're saying. It could be awesome. Or talk to them about the language. Okay, so I copied it. I'm going to go and edit it, make sure I give it a name that matches what we're doing. So I did. We're going to say the Marriage State of the Union welcome sequence checklist. Checklist, welcome. Okay, the trigger is going to be when a subscriber joins the group, and that means that they put their email address and their name in your sign up form on your site. Okay, which group, you're going to tell it. All right, so there it is. Save that. Then we're going to go on the trigger. It's going to send them an email. And so my email sequence comes the same way. Welcome to the Hope, Joy, and Christ community. But for this one, I might say Marriage of the Union checklist inside. That way they know what they're getting, because a lot of times they are already on my list. They just like some of the stuff that I create. Okay, so I'm going to edit the email content. All right, so within my email, all right, they're going to have this little blurb that comes in that says, okay, your download is inside Marriage checklist. I have such a thing where I randomly capitalize things. Hey, babe. Oh, cool. Can you put it back in the, I'm not sure where it is. I think it's in the school room. And I'm recording a video, just so you know, if you don't want to be in it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to save that. Okay. In here, I kind of give them some similar language. So it's nice to meet you. If you're new, here's some things about me, and it sends them to my About page, to one of my most popular posts where I share part of my testimony. Okay. So inside this somewhere, we're going to tell them, here is the freebie. All right, we're going to copy it. We're going to grab the link here, the link to share. And I can't see my header. Where are we at? Okay, there we go. We're going to come in here. We're going to highlight this. We're going to put the link into it. And when they get this email, they are going to have their freebie. Okay, so it's that easy. Now, I tend to have a series with my welcome sequence. So, done editing that one. So I'm going to give them a welcome email. I'm going to tell them a little bit about me. I'm going to give them their freebie. And then the next day, I'm going to have another email. So in the marriage sequence, because I have a new course, it's just kind of my upsell to tell them about the course, check it out. Then I'm going to have a third email that kind of tells them what they can expect from me. I'm going to email them periodically with encouragement for their marriage, for their walk with Christ, for their motherhood. I'm going to share with them any resources that I think are amazing, that I want them to know about. And then just those kind of things. So just full disclosure of what they can expect as they are kind of in the community in my tribe. And then I'm going to update them. I'm going to update a custom field to tell me which opt-in they have, which helps me know which ones are the most popular as I kind of look through my list. So, marriage date of the union checklist. Okay, gonna update that. I am also going to note that they went through the sales piece. I'm gonna move them from this group to my main group. And that's my automation here. Super simple. I would turn it on if I were done, but I'm creating just a step higher too that I'm not quite done with. So that is a super simple opt-in. If you want it to be a little fancier though, okay? So let's just go there for a minute. I use Canva. Now, I do use Canva for work, and I love Canva for work because I can save all of my creations. I can have in the brand section, I can have my colors that I use on the website. I can have the logo that I use on the website. I can set the fonts and the sizes so that my images, as I'm creating them and sending them out, are consistent. And I don't have to try to remember. Like I used to have a notebook that I would kind of write down my hex codes and the font sizes and styles that I liked. And so I think probably in probably in September of last year, I made the jump to this paid piece. It's $12 or $14 a month, and that for me was worth the headache of always having to remember. The magically resizing your image piece is such a time saver for me. And so when I'm creating things, I have kind of a, I don't know what you would call it. I don't want to say I have like a formula, like I'm very predictable, but I probably am very predictable. So the size of the header image, the feature image on all of my posts is similar to the Facebook size, like a Facebook post. And so I will create a Facebook post size image as my header, and then after I have finished like tweaking it and working it just the way I like, I will resize it to a Pinterest image because I want a Pinterest image in every post. That just makes it easier for me. You can create a Pinterest size image, go to Pinterest, upload it, tell it the site, and have different images that way. But this is just easier. So I love like the Canva for work, just for the magic resize. Like abracadabra, resize my picture. For me is amazing, and then I could just adjust things and get it back. It just takes me a couple of minutes, where before I was spending an hour or so to get images ready to try and make sure they were consistent. So anyway, that's kind of my little blurb about that. But if you're wanting to make your opt-in a little prettier, Canva is a great option for that. So with this Marriage State of the Union, I'm actually going to make a paid product for it, which I'm working on. And so I'm taking what was in that simple Word document, moving it into Canva, giving it some pretty colors, some pretty borders, and so just prettying it up, making it something that they could work through instead of a checklist, making it a worksheet. Oh, hi, Michaela. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
All right, so to find some of these things, like it's just super easy. So I can say I want a heart border. I can spell, so we're hoping it's going to get there for me.
Come here, boy cat. Come here, boy cat.
All right, so we can look at different borders. You can pick, really, you can pick anything that you like here. So if I said a border and I said hearts, I wonder how did I? So sometimes you come up with the same thing. So you could have like little bits here and bobs. I also try to tell it that I want the free only, just that I already pay for Canva. I don't like to pay for images unless there is a particular reason to do that. So let's say we wanted, oh, here we go. Here's the one I liked. I liked this one, but then I did not particularly care for the hot pink, and so I can bring it over here. I can change the color. My brand colors are here. I tend toward this pretty purple. This one would be nice if you had an overlay, but you can't see it. Not so much the brown. This doesn't quite communicate what I want. It will also suggest some colors that it thinks that it would look great in up top. And, you know, maybe the pink, but I try to stay pretty on point with my branding where it's possible. So this is mine. I can make it smaller, which I did. I can turn it around. So let's say I wanted to put it over in this corner to match the other ones. It gives me these super cool lines. So I know if it's centered, if it's lined up with the text or another image. It's obviously not the same size as the other ones. And so here we go. It's going to tell me where I'm getting kind of close to that. And so you can just pretty it up any kind of way that you want. You can change the colors to things. You can change the sizes to things. Once you have like a page set, so I have this first page set, then I'm going to come down, have the second page set. So we're doing what, communication, intimacy, fun. We're going to stop off finances. Parenting must have been where I was because I kind of have some bits and bobs down here. Okay, so let's see. We're doing parenting about it. Let's see. How do you do the lines? Let's copy this so you can see and then paste it. So I'm going to come down here. I just keep like an extra sheet full of things that I kind of liked, but I wasn't sure. All right, so this doesn't just happen in here. So if you want like a lined piece, you can come over into the elements and lines. Okay, and I just picked a simple line. You can make this line thinner and then stretch it out. You can make this line thicker. You can have this line horizontal. You can have this line vertical. You can do whatever you want to with this line. So once I get it where I like it,
Oh, you want to use water for the cats, like the drink?
Let's not use water right now.
Please. I already did it.
Thank you for telling me that you already did it. Did it make a mess?
No.
Where's the water?
Did you
I
see?
see the water. Where are the cats?
I actually made it for that.
You all are going to drink the water out of the bowls? Are the bowls clean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's say I like this, but I would like a couple of them. I can do a Control C and copy it, or up here, there's an option to copy. Okay, and I usually go with at least 3 lines. I can line them up with each other. You see the cool purple lines? I love that. I can make them as wide or as narrow as I want. And once I have them, a group of them, what I like to do is highlight them all and come up here and group them. That way they're going to stay together. I can move them together. I could make them bigger if I wanted as a group. So moving the whole group is easy to have lines up there. Another one, because I wanted a way for people to kind of rate things and, like, you know, fill a box. So let's come down here and show you how we did that. Similar thing. Oh, I can also ungroup them if I decide don't want them all together. All right, so deciding what kind of a shape that we want. Pardon me just a second. Oh, maybe not. They seem to have chilled out. Okay, so I just picked a heart. It's going to come gigantic. Awesome. I don't want it gigantic. I also don't want it brown, although it did default to one of my brand colors. Yay! But I'm going to stick with this purple just to be consistent throughout, to get it to a size I kind of like. And then I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to line it up with the other. See, it gives me these lines so I know if I'm on track. And copy it. I thought 5 was a nice number, so we're going to do 5 of them lined up nice and neat. And then once they're there, I can select them all and group them. And they're connected for life. Now that you can make them if you want, I can make them smaller as a group, bigger as a group to put where I want to. Okay, so these are just kind of some of the tricks that you would use. And then the same thing will apply. Okay, when I'm done with this, I can download it. Okay, and now if it's multiple pages, it's already going to download as a PDF, which is awesome. Now, I'm not really done with it, but let's download it for the sake of argument and say we were done with it. And then just like we uploaded our other piece to the Google Drive, or if you're using Dropbox, they work very similarly, I understand. And so you've got it there. Mine always puts in the same place, so I can show it in a folder in my downloads and a gazillion billion downloads. Because I just like to sit around creating things because I'm a weirdo. And so the same thing, I can take that piece, I can just drag it and drop it over here into my Google Drive. When it's done, it will be here in the list, and I'm just going to click up here on the little person plus to share. I'm going to go to my advanced options. I'm going to change it from private to anyone with a link can view it. That'll let them download it, not edit. We don't want them to edit. I don't really want their comments, mostly because I don't want them to really have access to this file, just to the whole folder. And people do try to get into it, so, there's food for thought. Okay, I'm going to save it, and it gives me this. So then I would just go into my welcome sequence and put that link in to the freebie that they get when they subscribe. Okay, so I have a form. I have the automation set up. Within my post, I am going to save my post because I need to go back into my plugin and make sure it updated and grabbed the new form. So save the post. I don't think I did anything with it, but I'm always afraid that I've changed some amazing thing, and then if I leave before it's there, it's gone forever. I don't know. Okay, so not within my plugins. That's not where I want to go. I want to go to my sidebar over here. So Mailer Lite sign up forms. If you're using MailChimp, they have something kind of similar. So I see all of my sign-up forms here. I am going to add a new form to my list. Now within the post, I'm also going to put my popular forms for marriage because that one does really well. So I'll actually have two forms, two options for them here. So I'm going to grab the form created on Mailer Lite, and it's going to ask me which one in a minute. It's thinking. It's early. It needs some coffee too. What are we going to call it? Let's call it, what did I call it? They call marriage date of the union checklist. Okay, let's grab it from the list. Woohoo! It's going to think for a minute. There it is. Lovely. Save the form. Save the form. All right, then we're going to go back to the post and edit the post. All right, down here, I'm going to probably do it at the bottom. I've said something you'd like to use. Download the free checklist. And so I'm going to give them the form here. Up here, there's a little green text, like, I don't know, like if you're talking to someone in a comic book, like a text box kind of thing. It's going to show me a list. I'm going to add the short code, and there is my form. When I get to the other side of it, after I've posted this, it will be there. I'll probably add a cute little graphic over top of it, but that's that. So that is how you create an opt-in, set up the form and the welcome sequence so that you're delivering the opt-in, and put a form in your post. Ladies, I cannot tell you how much my list and the traffic on my site has grown since I put an opt-in in every single post. And it takes a little bit of time, but once you get into that rhythm, once you have the opt-in, once you have the form, once you kind of get into that comfort about what you're doing, it becomes part of the routine when you're writing the post. Where am I going to put the opt-in, a little bit of wording leading into it, there's the form. Once you get into that routine, it's there. It's all, like, I can't remember, before what I, thought how people were going to remember or find it. And then it does take just a little bit of time afterwards. So once I had it, probably in, I don't know, August or September of last year, it did take me a little bit of time to go back to the other posts and add the opt-in form there. But it was so worth it because of how much it grows your email list, which is the list that you have control over communicating with. Like, these people, they love what you're writing. Like, God has given you a ministry and given you a mission field to share this part of your story, this part of what He's teaching you with this audience, and they are hungry to grow. They want that. So don't think of it as selling them anything or pushing anything at them. It's really not anything like that. These are resources that they need. You're going to be providing a service, helping them in so many ways. And then once they're on your list, decide how often are you going to email them. Send them an email, an update. What's going on the blog, what's going on in your life, the little bits there, so that it can be personal and you can be connecting, building relationships with your readers. And when you're doing that, they are going to begin to respond to you. So you're going to get to know them. You get to know really who they are and what they need, and how, as your all's lives intersect, you can minister to them better. It's just kind of how I think about it for myself. And so I know that's come up, that conversation has come up several times within the group and then privately between some of us. So I wanted to take some time and talk through. If you have any questions, or if there are things you're like, I don't know how to do that, you said that strange bloggy speak word and I know what that meant, just ask. If I know, I'll help. If not, I can ask some other people, because we have some experienced, seasoned bloggers in the group. And so I know I'm just all about connecting and helping each other grow. So listen, you all be blessed, and I will talk with you next time.